Welcome to my channel, Sella Buzz. You're familiar with Rick Harrison? He's the well-known character from Pawn Stars on television. Millions of people watch him transact in his pawn store and buy wonderful goods. He strikes me as a kind and astute businessman. What if, however, there is more to the tale? What if we learn something startling about Rick from his own mother? Indeed, his real mother has some things to say, and she has no qualms about sharing them with everyone. Let's hear what she has to say about her son. Through our televisions, Rick Harrison has been a fixture in our living rooms for years. We enjoyed listening to him discuss history and bargain over costs. He always came out as fair and honest. His Las Vegas pawn shop gained international recognition and attracted customers from all over the world. Rick rose to fame and fortune. He was asked to speak at important occasions, wrote books, and gave speeches. Everyone believed that he was just an ordinary guy who succeeded through cunning and hard work. However, there are instances when what we see on TV isn't the complete picture. For many years, Rick's mother kept silent while her son rose to fame. She had no desire to go on camera or receive attention. She simply observed Rick's life alter from a distance. Rick's mother recently made the decision that she could no longer remain silent. She felt compelled to discuss what she had heard and witnessed. She didn't find this easy. Imagine having to speak negatively about your own child, Megan, but feeling that it was the proper thing to do. Over the years, she observed strange occurrences occurring at Rick's pawn business. People who didn't appear to be regular customers would enter. Strange objects that didn't seem to belong would appear. After the store closed, late-night meetings took place. She began to worry about her son's true behavior as a mother. "I tried to ignore it at first," she added. "Even though I told myself it was just your typical pawn shop operation, I knew something wasn't quite right." Rick's mother claims that the gold and silver pawn shop wasn't your typical company. According to her, Rick was using it to cover up other illegal acts. She claims that he had contacts to politicians, influential casino owners, and even some celebrities in Las Vegas. These individuals would conduct covert transactions at the pawn store. Additionally, she claims that Rick kept two sets of books, one that depicted the legitimate business and another that depicted the actual events. Funds from enigmatic sources would be combined with ordinary pawn shop funds. Therefore, nobody was able to determine its origin. She clarified that regular business would cause the cash register to ring throughout the day. However, the rear area was where the actual money was being exchanged. According to Rick's mother, various well-known individuals participated in these events. She claims that after hours, well-known musicians and Hollywood figures would stop by the store. These weren't casual get-togethers. These were business meetings pertaining to topics that were off-limits to the general public. These meetings differed from those depicted on the television program. She claimed that security officers were stationed. Outside, the doors were locked and the cameras were turned off. They didn't want anybody else to hear what they were saying. She recalls a night after midnight when 3 black SUVs arrived. Men entered and remained for hours in pricey outfits. Rick appeared anxious and unwilling to discuss their identity or desires before they departed. The TV show and normal business at Rick's pawn store generate a healthy profit, but according to his mother, that only makes up a small portion of his earnings. She thinks he keeps millions of dollars in foreign bank accounts that weren't obtained from the sale of ancient coins or watches. The TV show and pawn shop are merely for show. According to her, the actual business is conducted behind closed doors. How else was he able to buy all those expensive homes and cars? The figures don't add up. According to her, Rick occasionally traveled to Switzerland, the Cayman Islands, and Panama. Any location where covert banking is practiced. When he returned, he would travel alone and never discuss these excursions. The most painful thing for Rick's mother is the way her son has changed over time. She recalls his early days as a young man who was enthusiastic about learning about history and antiques, as well as the pawn industry. He had lofty goals and was inquisitive and compassionate. With tears in her eyes, she remarked, "The Rick I raised wouldn't do these things." Fame and fortune transformed him. He craved more the more he received. It was never sufficient. She saw that he was become more reticent and impatient with his family. He was too busy to attend significant family gatherings. He began hanging out with new pals who wore pricey watches and drove luxury automobiles. His morals appeared to shift. He was almost unrecognizable to me now. It wasn't only that he became older or more prosperous, she remarked. There was a shift within him. Rick's mother suppressed her worries for years. She didn't want to think. Her son was a bad person. However, she couldn't ignore what happened next. She heard Rick screaming at someone on the phone and threatening to call the police if they made contact. He brought up handling issues in a manner that chilled her to the bone. She realized she needed to take action at that point. She said, "No mother wants to think her child could hurt someone." But I was afraid of the way he was speaking. I was worried about what might occur next. She started by attempting to speak with Rick and inquiring about the odd occurrences she had observed. However, he became irate and urged her to keep her mouth shut. He claimed that she was growing older and disoriented and that she was having hallucinations. She was greatly offended by that. After months of deliberation, Rick's mother made the decision to share her story with a reliable writer. After looking into her statements, the journalist discovered evidence that corroborated some of her assertions. Unusual transactions were found in bank records. Strange late-night encounters were corroborated by former pawn business employees. It was like a bomb went off in the entertainment industry when the article was released. Fans were incredulous. The Pawn Stars TV network demanded an investigation. Rick's business associates began to turn away from him. Rick refuted everything right away. His mother was upset that he hadn't given her more money, so he called her in confusion and claimed she was making up stuff. He promised to sue anyone who spread these falsehoods about him and employed pricey attorneys. At this point, the Harrison family is entirely divided. Some family members have ceased communicating with Rick because they think he is his mother. Others have ceased communicating with her because they believe she is fabricating everything. Happy family get-togethers are no longer possible. "Seeing our family split apart is heartbreaking," said Rick's cousin, who wished to remain nameless. "We were quite near once. We are no longer even allowed to be in the same room. Rick's sons are supporting their dad. They claim that their grandmother is merely seeking attention and is envious of Rick's success. However, Rick's sister says she has also witnessed disturbing things and believes their mother. There are still many unanswered questions as this tale develops. Do Rick's mother's statements hold water? Will there be legal repercussions if so? What will become of the Pawn Store and TV show? Some fans continue to support Rick, while others feel deceived. The gold and silver pawnshop's business methods are currently being investigated by investigators. They are questioning both current and past employees and reviewing financial information. Rick insists he is innocent and that he will be exonerated of all charges. His mother maintains her account. She claims, "I didn't want to hurt my son. Prior to things getting worse, I wanted to save him from himself. Doing the difficult thing is sometimes necessary for love." This tale helps us consider the effects that wealth and celebrity may have on individuals. It also serves as a reminder that not everything we see on reality TV is accurate. Not everything is captured by cameras, and shows are edited to make people appear nice. According to a producer who has worked on similar shows, reality TV isn't reality. It's amusement. We display what makes for good television, not necessarily what is accurate. Whether Rick Harrison is at fault for his mother's accusations or not, this case illustrates how complex family dynamics can be, and how parents and kids can have quite different perspectives on the same events. And things become more intense when millions of money and notoriety are at stake. As viewers, we identify with the characters we see on television. We feel as though we know them since we welcome them into our homes once a week. However, do we actually? There is always more going on behind the scenes than what we see on our screens, as this story serves as a reminder. One thing is certain. Even though the truth about Rick Harrison is still emerging, the Pawn Stars family will never be the same.